everybody, and welcome to Candid Counselors Chat. This week we went on our social media and posted a poll to see what you guys were interested in us talking about next, and the majority chose racism, which is definitely a big topic right now, as it has been. Again, we have Margaret Donald, our lead counselor. We have Skyla Pryor, our second counselor. We have Autumn Green, our group lead. And then we have Savannah Sword out. As our intern. So, we have a couple of questions that also came in regards to the topic. The first one is, how can we be a better ally? Who would like to start?
I guess I can start again. That would be fun. I was recently talking with one of my friends about this topic, about racism, because it's so, prevalent right now. And one of the things that we were talking about and that she had said that really stood out to me is how we address this and how the words that we are using towards it. So, like, people will talk about anti-racism or anti-this. And what she was saying is that we need to change our vocabulary. Instead of being anti-racist, we learn how to be more diverse, how to be inclusive. And so those are the things that we're focusing on rather than the actual racist part. Mm-hmm. So what do you guys think about that? Like changing the wording of how we are approaching this. Does it make a difference what kind of wording that we use?
I definitely think it makes a difference in what words we use, because words go very far for people. And then sometimes with anti, things just seem more negative than positive, right? So I do think our choice of words is important. And I also think just having a conversation and being willing to take action when action is needed. And that doesn't mean going out and participating in protests. That doesn't mean you have to, fight every battle or whatever, but if you see something that's wrong, if you hear something that's wrong, go ahead and speak up. Say how you feel. You don't have to know all the facts. You don't have to be versed in all this information that is out there. Just come from your heart. If you truly believe that it's wrong, just say that it's wrong.
Yep.
Yep. That's where you start with being an ally, to me.
Yeah.
Bless you.
I agree with Autumn, like one of those situations where silence is consent type things. So you want to make sure that with being an ally that you are being vocal, you're standing up, you don't have to go to all the protests, you don't have to sit there and feel like you're putting yourself in harm's way, so to speak, but to, be able to be vocal about it, like, hey, I know someone and I believe that that's not okay, and wanting to stand up. Well, that's important.
Savannah, any thoughts?
I just agree with what's been said so far, and the thought that keeps coming to my mind is that phrase for, I guess, white people. I understand that I will never understand, however I stand with you. So in that way, I feel like it's important for people of privilege to advocate for people who are not as privileged, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think I'm thinking about my son Rowan, who's 2 years old, and just kind of starting the conversation just very early. My husband is mixed. He's black and white. He looks white, so you really can't tell. And then my son looks very white. He does not look Hispanic in whatsoever. But I just want him to kind of understand that, all of his family is very diverse. He's got white family, black family, Hispanic family, and, who knows way back when. But I just want him to just be very cultural and just understand everybody's viewpoint and I guess it just starts, with the kids.
Mm-hmm. I totally agree with that. I think that the more that we can expose children to different races, different religions, all of that kind of stuff, and make it normal, then kids just go,
just make it normal.
It's just normal. This is just everybody.
Agreed. Let's move on to our next question. How do we as counselors handle racist clients? I know. So for me, the biggest thing is education.
A lot of people don't realize their privilege and their biases that they may have. So something that Skyla and I actually talked about this week was the invisible knapsack that we carry. And it's specifically for people of privilege to realize that, hey, I have access to people of my race. I'm trying to think of an example from there. It's something like you can walk into a store and not be discriminated against or followed around based on your race. And that's something that white people, I feel like, have a hard time realizing happens to other people.
Because it doesn't happen to them, then they feel like, oh, it doesn't really happen.
Exactly.
Or you must have been looking shady or something when you went in.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they were following you around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think, and what I really would like to kind of address here amongst all of us is that we can work with people that are trying to work on their racism.
Mm-hmm.
If you're trying to learn, if you're trying to better yourself, if you're trying to, understand your privilege, absolutely, I think all of us would say we're 100% here for you. But if you come in here and you disrespect anybody based on their race and you are racist towards them, then that would be an issue that we would need to probably find you a different counselor.
Right.
And I think that's only fair and honest, and that we will not tolerate that kind of behavior towards anybody that works here for any reason.
Right. And I think that's the part that shocked me going into internship. Just being reminded, especially with everything that's going on in society, you're reminded of the position that you hold in society, even in the chair as the counselor. And I think coming with that respect in wanting to learn, but also remembering who you're talking to in that room, and showing them and knowing that, hey, like, on the outside of this room, I'm going through a lot as well. Fighting for my life on a daily basis, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm willing to teach, I'm willing to educate, but you have to be willing to hear. And hear the experiences, my experiences, if I choose to share, of the Black people in your community, in our world, and in our society as a whole. Mm-hmm. And so I do think that respect and that willingness to learn is needed. And some people just aren't open to that, and we have to understand that too. So I think as counselors dealing with clients who may have racist thoughts or beliefs, that just remembering, okay, they're coming from a place where they may not have been exposed to things, they may not understand fully, and if that mutual respect can't be there, then we have to part ways respectfully. And that's okay.
That's okay. Perfectly okay.
Uh-huh.
I love that. Just being respectful of each side, because, when you are the counselor, you are kind of put in a precarious situation sometimes, and wanting to be informative and to share your experiences, but also understand, like, hey, I can't change anyone's mind. So, hey, if you believe whatever you want to believe, then that's okay. That's on you, but also from my point, as long as we respect each other, because this is an hour where we are sharing the same space. So taking that into consideration moving forward, like, hey, if you respect me, I'll respect you. I'm here to educate you, and if you would like to not be respectful and feel like, hey, this isn't a great fit for you, then hey, that's okay with me too.
Exactly. And I really think that it's important that especially you guys know that we have your back, and if somebody is disrespecting you, that is not going to be tolerated. Point blank, it's over and done, and we will refer them to somebody else. Off gate, no problems.
Thank you.
Our last question. How can people of privilege better educate themselves so they are aware of their own biases and privileges?
I'm going to let you start.
So I think first off, finding resources. Brene Brown is a very excellent resource to read, and I mean, she does talks and everything. If you want to attend one of those, that's great too. White Fragility is a great piece to read. Short, because I know not everybody likes reading, but also if you don't want to do the documents and the books and all of that, just ask questions. But not from a place where you have your opinions already to respond back to someone. Really sit down, listen, and have a conversation with a person of color. It doesn't matter what person of color, because we all go through similar experiences in America. So just having that genuine conversation and say, hey, like, tell me what you need me to do. What do you need? What are your experiences? How do you view the world through your eyes, through your culture? And really listen to what they have to say. And then go forward from there. So having those genuine conversations and being able to discuss the viewpoints of others, and then really taking that in and saying, okay, what in my life can I change to show or to use my privilege, not in a negative way, but in a positive way, to move our society forward? Because it all starts with awareness, self-awareness, and accountability for everybody. So that means when you address your white privilege, then you have the responsibility, you have the knowledge to hold everybody else accountable that you come in contact with.
Yep.
And that's the part that gets uncomfortable, but we have to be willing to be uncomfortable.
Yep. One of the things that I would really highly suggest, again, on the same lines, get some people that look different than you and go have dinner. Go have a cup of coffee. Just get groups of people together that you've never experienced, and you are going to learn so much from just being able to sit down and have a conversation with somebody that does not look like you. This is not going in and trying to change their mind or anything, but listen to their stories and believe them when they tell you their stories. That is like vitally important, I think, is just immersing yourselves in other cultures. If all you are ever in is your little area, you're never going to know what's going on. That's true. Any last thoughts from anybody?
Trying to think. But yeah, I guess piggybacking. But yes, definitely going out and asking the questions. Don't come in with your own opinions or ideals or anything like that, but generally asking questions. Being like, hey, I don't know. Like, make me better understand where you're at. And most of the time, people of color have no problem sharing those experiences with you because they're knowing that they're trying to educate someone else to be an ally. So just being aware of that, being open, to what other people are experiencing, because everyone experiences life differently.
Oh, can I just add one other thing onto that? It made me think about this, and Autumn and I have spoken about this. I need for people of privilege to understand that it is not people of color's responsibility to teach you. It is your responsibility to go out and to actively find people and look for people and meet people that are different than you so that you can change some of the biases that you have. You cannot expect someone to tell me how to do this, but we're telling you now. Meet people, look it up. There's videos, there's all kinds of things. Do your homework. It's on you to find this information out.
It has to be an active thing, because if it's not an active thing, I don't think you're really going to soak it in.
Not at all.
You're not really going to learn or understand until you go out and look for it yourself. Does anybody want to add anything else?
No, I feel okay. You guys feel okay?
I feel
Yeah.
good.
That was good.
Yeah.
Well, thank you again for tuning in to our Candid Counselors chat. We really hope that someone was inspired by anything that was said here today. And just to remind everybody that Different Attitude Counseling is an open space. If you ever just want understanding, education, or just a safe space to come and talk about anything, we are all here.
You can find us on our YouTube channel. If you like what we have to say, if you're interested in hearing our other talks, please like and subscribe to our channel. You can also find us at adifferentattitude.com or on Facebook at A Different Attitude Counseling, PLLC. Thanks.
Bye.
Sorry, guys.
Another one, guys.
Really contemplate whether or not to bring up police brutality.
That's a whole other conversation. Another talk.
Somebody's gonna have to open that up. I gotta get the key.
Did it work? Did it last the whole time?
I hope so.